How do I build and foster business relationships without being stalkerish? Well, any type of relationship, and that includes business relationships, are based on trust. What you have to know about trust is that you can only build that step by step by step by step. For instance, um, if you have a first contact with a person, let's say a banker or something like that, and you ask that person on the first meeting for 2 million, that I can tell you the answer. The answer is going to be no, right? But let's say you knew that individual for years, and you've been building trust over those years. It could work. Now, what is trust? Trust is predictability. The person needs to know what you're going to do. They need to have the feeling that they can predict your behavior in the future. And how do you build that up? You build that up by um, proving what you said you would do. You know, and if you do that consistently and continuously, the person will have a certain um, a certain image of you, and they will trust you. You know, so business relationships need time, and they need consistent effort and trust. And trust can only be built step by step by step. No one's going to trust you fully right away unless they're, not even dogs trust you 100%, I think. But a person definitely is not going to trust you 100% ever, you know. And then now, how do you build trust? How do you build trust? There are many different factors that tie in with that. Okay, so people judge you. People always judge you. They will always. That's what they do. They judge you by your looks. Are you are you well groomed? You know, are you well groomed? What do you wear? How do you talk? How do you move? All of these things, they all play a role in how a person categorizes you. These things are important, you and you just got to be aware of these things. All of that plays a role. You have to essentially have an idea of how the person sees you. I'm a 6'4", 240 pound, tall black guy. So, for instance, if I talk to most people, they get scared of me. They're afraid. That's the first impression they get. They get cautious. I have to be aware of that. I have to understand that. Why? Because the image that is out there in the media about guys like me is that we're dangerous. That's just what it is, you see. So I have to be aware of that. I can't, it is what it is. I can't fight that impression. But what I can do is, or I can't fight that stereotype. But what I do is I basically present myself that step by step by step makes that person understand that I'm safe to deal with. And then as they get to know me, you know, as they get to know me, it changes. Other people struggle with other things. Being threatening. That is my personal obstacle. The universe put in my way. Other people deal with other things. A lot of women, for instance, deal with the stereotype that they're not being taken serious in business. Uh, Most females are not threatening, but nobody takes them serious. Even if they're competent, they're not being taken serious. That's another obstacle. So every every type of image that is being portrayed, and you don't have a choice but to portray an image. There are stereotypes, you see, and they're just out there. Everybody who says that people don't judge you based on certain stereotypes is just lying. Everybody has stereotypes in mind, and Western culture has certain stereotypes for different types of people, different looks, different sizes, and all that stuff, right? So um, you got to be aware of that, and you got to understand how to navigate your way around that. You see, so you you got to operate in the world based on how you want to be perceived.